Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, or depending on the time you're listening to this. And welcome to another episode of Masterminds with Dr. Tosin. It's such a privilege, such an honor to be able to have this conversation again. And I'm so delighted that you're still there listening to me. I am happy that you're still here, interested in my channel, interested in the things that this little young man has to say on some important subjects that affect men, that have to do with men, different aspects of men, or just different things that have to do with men that help sort of men to become the best version of themselves. So today we're going to be talking about something that has been on my mind for quite some time, a very long time actually, and I think it's a very important subject that people should hear about. Men should hear about, but more actually, everyone should be interested in this particular subject, and that is money. Now, well, when I say money, I know that some people are, well, oh yeah, money. Let's talk about money. Everybody likes money. I like money. But the talk we'll be having about money today is more in terms of what not to do with money. So what should you not do with money? I don't want you to get disinterested at this point, because I know there's tendency to say, oh, we want to talk about how to make money. Yeah, on this platform, as I've mentioned before, we will be having conversations about how to make money. We will be saying a lot of things that can help men, generate wealth and all that, bringing up experts, and professions and stuff that can help people generate wealth. But I also think that before we get to that point of making money, there are certain things that we need to understand, that if we do not understand them before we get into making money, we can actually make money and make a mess of money. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So I'm trying to think, okay, let's learn these things. I know some people are already making money anyway. So whether you want to just want to start making money, if you're going to learn how to make money from this platform, or if you're going to learn from any other platform, don't forget, making money is not the only thing we do on this platform. We just talk to men generally. But if you're going to start learning how to make money, if you're even making it already, there are certain things that I think are important for you to learn, in the process or before you start making money. Basically, because if we don't learn these things, like I've said earlier, we tend to make a mess of money. And I'll start by saying, obviously, acknowledging the fact that money is important. I love money. I like money. I think everybody, I use the word like, actually. I think everybody likes money. Money is important. You need it to get by in life. You need to get the things that you need to get, the basic things of life, parents and all of these things. You need it as a man, particularly. We've talked about the fact that men are providers. So as a man, you definitely need money to be able to provide for your family and stuff like that, to be able to do everything, to be able to even have mouths, in certain instances, even though that should not be. So money is important. But despite all of the things I will be saying, I decided to start with that just to emphasize the fact that everything I will be saying does not in any way mean that money is not important. But despite how important money is, I like to say to people that money should never be worshipped. Money should never be the most important thing in people's lives. Money should never. And I realize that this is one of the things we have in our world today. Have you looked at social media lately? You will find out that if there's a conversation about any subject, people generally believe that the person that is richer has the best ideas. Just think about it. I'm sure you've heard that. You've seen that happen many times. People think, oh, this person is this person because he has money. If you are not, people say things like, if you have not been able to take care of your finances, how are you able to even have sense to say any other thing? People generally tend to equate money with your ability to reason, with your ability. So even when you are saying trash as a person, and you can imagine in an instance where somebody is arguing with a doctor on medical stuff, but because the person is richer, people generally there's a tendency, that people would believe that this guy is saying the correct stuff just because he's been able to acquire wealth. And sometimes actually, these wealth are ill-gotten, and that's sort of where we are going today. So, and you can look at our world today. One of the things that really control the way people do things, determine who leads what, determine. As a matter of fact, there was a time I believe that sometimes people determine what is right or wrong depending on the amount of money in the pockets of the person doing that thing. So if it's something that is done by a rich person, and you can think about it, just look at your environment. Many people go to jail for things, like two people can commit the same offense. One will go to jail and the other one wouldn't, simply because the one that is not going to jail has money and the one that is going does not have. Money has bastardized a lot of things in society, but I think money should not be worshipped. Imagine a society where we do not worship money. As men, I'm thinking of getting us to that point where we do not worship money. Now, money should be mastered. This is sort of the thing I want to say. I think money should be mastered. Mastered in such a way that you place other values above it. I think we must get to a point where we place other values above money. And there are so many other values that we can think about. I remember I had a conversation with somebody at the point, and we were talking about something totally different. And the person she went basically, I mentioned that, money is good, but money is not the most important thing. And the person got so annoyed. She got so annoyed about it. And she was thinking, oh, you are saying that because you are comfortable. Those of us that are still trying to struggle and all that would not make such sentence. And I was like, look, this idea that money is the most important thing is something that one should learn even before you marry. I remember sharing, instances about my growing up. I grew up in a family that for a long part of our lives, it was struggle. We struggled financially for a very long part of our lives, for a very long time in our family. But one of the things I learned from my parents was this value of not pleasing money. Because at that point, I remember as a child, I used to wonder, why didn't my dad, for instance, just get involved in certain things? Wasn't like me thinking he should go and do it. I was more thinking of it in the sense of, why didn't he just get involved in this? And at the end of my thought process, I've always been a child that likes to think a lot, inquisitive and stuff. At the end of my thinking process, what I came up with was that this man has actually placed, value certain things, integrity, for instance, over money. There were instances I've heard of where, they've offered him certain amount of money to do certain things, but that he blatantly sort of refused and said he wasn't doing just because money was not. And, in doing all of those he was able to teach us, the values, certain values like integrity, for instance, to put over money, such that getting to where where by God's grace we're a bit more comfortable, I'm a bit more comfortable. And getting to that point now, I know that there are certain things that I would not put my hands into. So I was saying that even for a poor man, before you make money, those values can be there even whether you are poor. So don't say it's because somebody is rich that they are able to hold these values. Because even if you think about it that way, think about the rich people in your society, think about the politicians. They have a lot of money, but guess what? They are still stealing more. They are stealing more. What do you think they are stealing more? Because value is neither about whether you are, as in value for the place you put money, is really not about whether you have it or you don't have it. What I've tried to say from these two scenarios is that whether you don't have, you have a possibility of not placing money over everything, whether you are a rich man or you are a poor man. A poor man can steal. A rich man can steal. A poor man can lack integrity. A rich man can lack integrity. Just the same way a poor man can have integrity and a rich man can also have integrity. So the idea is this. That issue of integrity and other values, for instance, like family relationships, all of these other things should be sorted. You need to have a place in your heart where you think these things, you should definitely place certain things above the issue of money in your life. Don't sacrifice your relationships for it. Don't sacrifice your integrity for money. Don't sacrifice your relationship with God for money. Because some people will tell you basically, no, God has to wait. I have money to make. And of course, don't forget that Bible literally said you cannot serve God and money, basically. At that point, they didn't actually say you cannot serve God and the devil. There was a reason he said you cannot serve God and money. That is how powerful money can be if it's not, if it's not put under, essentially, if it's not mastered. And so my charge to guys today is really this. The truth is that if you get engaged in vices, because that's the one thing that happens, a lot of young people in our world today, young men in our world, that is really where I'm going, are so interested in making money. They are so interested in making money, and because of that, they've gotten involved in so many vices. That includes ritual killings, that includes fraud, talk about Yahoo and all of these things. If people learn value, if people learn integrity, if people learn honesty before they become interested in money, then they won't be going into sort of these vices. No matter how poor I am, for instance, by the grace of God, I don't see myself getting involved in Yahoo, in fraud or anything. Why? Because I had learned values. I put values above money. A person that puts money above every other thing would think of committing vices. But guess what? If you do all of this, wrong stuff, illegal stuff, criminal stuff, if you get caught, guess what? The people that you are trying to people that you're trying to impress with that money, one day will forget about you. They will basically look for the next person that has the money to spend. So guys, my challenge is this. Look after yourself. Think about yourself. Don't be so crazy about, because many times the reason we want to have this much money, I mean, it's not always the case, but the reason why sometimes people want to have so much money, why a 70-year-old boy is trying to have money at all costs, is because they want to ball. They want to also show that they have money. They want to be able to impress girls and stuff like that, But we must look after ourselves in thinking, I don't have to impress all of these people. I have to start by doing things, do things, but do it right. And sort of the final challenge is this. Yes, by all means, make enough money. And like I said earlier, on this platform, we're going to be giving tips and ideas and all of that, apart from any other things that we do that can help people get into profiting endeavors. Make enough money. As a matter of fact, make more than enough money, but make it with integrity. But put, value other things above it. Don't let the need to make that money control every other aspect of your life. Don't let it control the way you do things. That is the only way making legit money is the only way you can be satisfied. People that have made it illegally are never satisfied. They're never happy. They're always running, thinking of, I don't want somebody to catch me, or thinking of, I'm trying to look for a smart way to cover what I've done and all that. Make the money. And we will teach those on this platform. Make more than enough money. We will teach those on this platform. But in doing all of that, before you start doing all of those, or in doing it, make sure that you place values over money. Make sure you place integrity over money. That is my challenge for boys. That is my challenge for men today. As we are aiming to be providers, we should aim, because at the end of the day, one of the most important lessons you will hand over to your kids is not the money that you give them, it's actually the integrity. This is my charge, to everyone today. I hope you've had a nice time. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. I want to continue to have this conversation. This is something I like to talk about. So I'm more than happy I would like to read your comments. I'd like, if you have not subscribed to this channel, I would like you to subscribe. I would like you to, share this video with other people that will need it. Men, women, I think anybody can benefit from this actually. Share the video, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.